Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
That was quite the turn of conversation, man. I was very quick and very blunt. And I don't know why you're interested in it. We're supposed to know each other, but... This is a setup. Trying to get me to confess something. I don't think Knightly Geralt has lots of secrets. Especially Knightly Geralt. You can have any other Geralt that has them, but it's not like I don't trust him, but I don't know him. I'm going to bluff it. By the way, I've been making hooch as well. Infusion hooch, not distillate. With my vervain, finally. It's hidden behind my counter in a gigantic jar. I have to wait for a month or so for it to mature, and then I'm gonna have my drinks with it. It's very good.
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets.
Is it?
Unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask you directly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets.
Yeah.
After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Well, okay, so I expected this to happen, so I suppose now we will be asking stuff about him. This is useful for people who don't know him, of course, like me. Know what? Let's start later. What's it like being dead? How are you handling abstinence, not drinking blood? Okay. What's regeneration like? So while for some reason I did know that vampire regenerated, but I don't know where that comes from. It was in my mind. It may come from any other franchise that I've seen or whatever. How does it work here?
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detloff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible.
Why did he?
As my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
You aren't answering me.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard.
Well, you haven't answered
You
yet.
vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help.
Okay.
However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Game, are you setting this up for me not to be able to fight Detloff, but having to convince Regis to do it? Or maybe some other vampire? Because that was weird. Like, this last sentence was weird, but okay.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a
Geralt.
form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration. and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Fair enough. Why, I didn't know.
Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I didn't know he had been really addicted, had he? But yeah, what a shitty thing to ask, Geralt. I thought it was a generic question. Since here vamps don't need to drink blood, but apparently it comes out that he was addicted before being resurrected, or had been addicted at some point in his eternal life before Detlef resurrected him. The discourse here sometimes goes in a complete different direction from the question you are asking, as it is written on your screen. That's not good. It reminds me of Dragon Age 2. Of course, you're not gonna test if you can still get addicted to something. I mean, you have to have developed a strong willpower if you want to try and do that.
Gotta ask you the big question, one everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
What?
You
How?
wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded?
No.
Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans.
Exactly.
Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar.
I too.
You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
True.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
It's very apart of the fact that he's already dead technically, so I don't think he could experience death as humans know it or imagine it. I mean, he's already an undead, he already technically died, but there can be no comparison. And I always ask myself sometimes as well why people are making all this fuss about death. Personally, it's something you can't avoid. Whatever. It's gonna happen whether you want it or not, sometimes early and sometimes not. Anyway, talking about death and especially Regis' death, so I remember somebody writing a comment, I don't remember the username of course, but a comment about me going to see a certain cutscene from Thronebreaker, I think, to go see how Geralt was knighted. And I did finally, I just never mentioned it. And Regis was there as well. Because what happened is that Geralt and I think Dandelion and Regis and some other people, also Milva. I was obsessed with Milva for some reason in Witcher 1. Still don't know who she is, but we're supposed to go, in fact, to save Ciri or do something with Ciri, whatever. And during their travel, they happened to this battle between the Nilfgaardian regiment and Queen Maeve's Northern Battalion, the Rivian Battalion, I think. And that was the Battle of the Yaruga, which is also the Battle of the Bridge, right? And the Nilfgaardian had blocked Maeve from retreating. Geralt happened there amidst the conflict and just took a side. Him and his people took a side. They chose to stand with the Queen Maeve. He sort of saved her or saved the situation, not specified, and he was knighted then and there, I think, in the tent for the wounded, because he got wounded. And yeah, she came there, she knighted him, he was okay. Then, apparently, he had to leave, because he was never meant to be there, right? He was meant to go after Ciri with the other people. So, he kinda deserted her, but he never asked to be there to begin with. Like, he didn't join exactly the Rivian division. He just happened in between this battle, needed to pass. And so everything happened. I think also that was the mission in which Regis died, right? Should be. Anyway, for knightly Geralt's sake, we are gonna pretend that didn't happen like that. We're just going to forget about it, because it doesn't work for knightly Geralt at all. I can see it work perfectly with vanilla Geralt, because it seems to be on his line. So cool, I suppose. Now I know those, so I have an idea. Thank you for the suggestion of checking that out. I'm not gonna play Thronebreaker anyway. So there. This thing, though, that you can regenerate from a pool of goo with the help of another higher vampire, I don't know, I accept it, but I don't like it. It kind of sounds like BS.
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, but first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth made you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. What of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
There it is.
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after.
I don't know.
When the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
Well, yes, Geralt, indeed we did. Of course, I started the conversation from the wrong question. Why am I even surprised? It doesn't matter. Anyway, he just said he lived like a stereotypical vampire, right? Which, honestly, guys, it's not that difficult in this universe with these rules for vampires. It's very easy, actually, because you don't need to drink blood. So, I don't know. Whatever, I suppose, right? Also, something that bothers me is that I've seen the vampire hands. They bother me a bit. I don't like when vampires do not look like humans, because the point of a vampire is to look like a human completely. Right? Isn't it? They maybe can transform, but I don't know, preferences, I suppose.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt.
Oh my god.
Cruel parsimony, I'd say.
Stop it.
But I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
But I can't die and be reborn as you were. I'm not a vampire. Unless you're thinking about making me one. I don't know, Regis, since you you like hinting at things. I mean, we all know Knightly Geralt by now. We know that he loves being a witcher and he's very dedicated. Come on.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Well,
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. Like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast.
true.
Yeah, not something I think about much. But I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave.
Indeed.
It's a privilege of the very few.
Indeed.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Actually, if we really wanted to be a pain in the ass, it would not be in Geralt's power to decide whether he become a witcher or not. Again, unless all the circumstances are gonna be the same as his previous life.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't even think we have any of the formulae to repeat the trial of the grasses if we wanted, because everything is gone lost, right? Wait! What the am I saying? We did them for Uma. We did the potions for Uma, didn't we? So unless those potions were different, which I don't think so. I think I remember an albino Bruxay tongue. I'm not really sure now, but I think there might have been. Not sure, but I mean...
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
How do you know?
It seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Curse.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
Yeah.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear.
Makes sense.
What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct. And a curse. In one place. That a coincidence? Or are they related?
We'll see.
Ah, professional curiosity.
Yeah.
Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
I understand him not wanting to clutter his head, because when you live centuries, I mean, I don't I don't think you have that much space for very many things anymore. I have problems with my head being cluttered, and I certainly have not lived as much as him. 20 years can give you a lot of clutter. Imagine, I don't know, 200, 400.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes.
Do they?
They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons.
Gunther.
With the skeptical smile, I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
It's Gunther! So, this is not a real spotted white. Right? 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 White? Oh my God. We are in for a good ride.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial.
Is that a challenge?
Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Oh my God. Is this really Gunther? I don't know, I couldn't think about... It just screams Gunther. Guys, the spoons. I mean, maybe not, alright? But maybe it's just wishful thinking. But here I am. What a nice little cemetery. Yeah, well, a golden plate. Isn't Regis a bit too chill? I mean, okay, maybe he's just chill. Wow, look at this tomb. Martina Lapinska, engineer and pug lover. Okay, so is this the cemetery with the Easter eggs? Like the names of the devs and such? Yeah, I think it is. I will be reading it. Primislavus Wojcik. But every tomb is readable? Everyone? Oh, this is gonna be... Well, I'm gonna come here and read them all one day. Not now. I guess I was supposed to enter from here, right? And maybe exit the other way around. But are we surprised at this point? Oh. Whoa, Geralt! I wonder who he was. I want to inspect this room a bit though, because we just went out and we didn't explore. What? Oh, it's just him. Oh my god. I want to see what's in this room. So next time we come here, we don't really have to explore around. I came in from there, so it's alright. Maybe you are gonna find something useful. Matteo Gollik, the Wizard of Bocap Tower. I don't know what that would mean, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna steal your alcohol, Regis. This looks really nice. Quaint. Does he have to do that? This place is kinda cozy, isn't it? There's a book. My last thought before I succumb to sleep. My last thought before falling asleep. Did Regis write this? If there is no death, does life exist? Well, no. Existence exists, but life as we know it, probably not. Hate is a very interesting feeling. I've noticed that people improve themselves with it to great effect. Yes, they do. Sometimes it's positive. Sometimes I would like to stop thinking. Me too. If we were to create a god as the humans have, what would he be like? Do you need to create a god? No, you don't you? People justify bad deeds by good intentions. I'm not sure if there is a greater idiocy. Yeah, yet sometimes it's necessary. I would drink the freshly squeezed blood of an infant. I know I can't. But I hope that its velvety taste will send me to sleep. He can't sleep? I strive to live like a person, and it means that I have ceased to feel good among people as well as among my own. Maybe I made a big mistake. Well, if you're not being yourself, then you have made a mistake. You shouldn't strive to be something you don't want to be. I always wanted to write. I am very tired of it all. Same here, man. People don't think about the present. They usually remember old times or worry about the future. True. Sadly, the present is the only dimension in which one really exists. You should remember the good times and, I don't know, put away money for the future, but people let that affect their present, which is wrong. Because your present could be the last moment you're alive. Right? I have a feeling that my friend Ethelf will die. I am sad. That is so childish to write, sort of. Maybe not childish, childlike. He seems to be a bit confused. Is he okay after his resuscitation? Well, I don't know, maybe he was like this before. What happened to him? Because I don't know him, so I can tell, but also maybe he sounds so chill. I mean, I say chill, but I think the right word is dejected. Because maybe regeneration takes a toll. I have no idea. Regeneration potion formula. This is his? This is not the one we are gathering ingredients for. This is his. For what? Okay. But why? He's still healing somehow? I mean, healing, regenerating, or whatever. Look at this skeleton. Every time I see this skeleton with that hat, it reminds me of Vesemir's hat that Lambert was wearing that time. Don't know why. I mean, I don't know why, because it visually reminds me, that's why. There is an explanation. There's a perfectly logical explanation. As always.